Hi, welcome to Door to Door with your host, me, Judy Stakey. Join me as I travel all over interviewing songwriters about their process. Hi, I'm sitting here today with Shelley Peiken. And I have to say, Shelley, I am amazed at your discography. And when I sit in this room and look at all these platinum and gold records, that you write for such a variety of voices. Keith Urban to the Pretenders, Plain White T's, INXS, Michelle Branch, Natasha Bedingfield. It's pretty amazing. And it really proves that it doesn't matter what genre you're in. When you have a good melody or lyric, it crosses over. You will know Shelley from two huge songs that she wrote, Bitch with Meredith Brooks, and What a Girl Wants, she wrote with Guy Roche for Christina Aguilera. And I believe that was her second single, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. So thank you for doing this, for sitting down with me today and talking. And what are you up to these days?
Well, I'm doing what I've been doing for the past 20 or plus years. And I still like to get in a room with another songwriter just with a guitar or just with a piano. I really do feel like if you can write something a cappella or unadorned by a track and a beat, not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you can write the song first and then put it to a production, you know you've got something strong if it works on its own first. So I do still like to write that way.
Spoken like a true songwriter.
Yeah, you know, I'm old school.
All right, here we go. Down to the 10 questions.
Yeah,
you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Number 1, how did we meet?
Judy Stakey and I met. You were at Warner Chappell. I was signed to a very small boutique publishing company out of London called Hit and Run. And I believe they were under the Warner Chappell roof in the States. Yep. And you were kind enough to include me in your monthly writers' meetings at Warner Chappell. Right. So I was new in LA at the time. I came over from New York, and I found a community there. So I thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So what is your creative process?
Well, I don't have just one, and that's because I get bored. I have to really switch it around. If I'm by myself, I might sit by the piano every day for an hour and wait for something to fall on me, and a lot of times it doesn't. But when it does, I'm happy that I sat there for the 10 days before that nothing came. And I keep my ears open and my eyes open for things that might occur to me in the supermarket, in my car, in the shower, when it's hard to write things down. I think that's when you get things, when it's very inconvenient.
Yeah.
And I make sure to document these things on a voice memo or a Post-it so that when I get in the room with an artist or with another songwriter, I have some resource. On the same token, when I get in the room with an artist that I'm writing with, I hope they have a collection of things to share. So at least you're starting from some kind of inspiration. We talked about in your workshop a couple of weeks ago about throwing out all that stuff and just writing from scratch. And I think that that's a very valid way to go, just to throw out every idea you ever had and see what you got that day.
Yeah. Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. You'll live on the edge.
So what inspires you to get up every day and do this?
Well, first off, my daughter, who gets up every day for school, and I get up with her to make her lunch.
That's a good one.
And, you know, I'm working on a lot of things other than writing songs that have to do with songwriting. I'm working on my book, as you know, Judy. And writing about writing songs has really gotten me to get up early because there's a lot of work to do. And if I have a session that day, I want to get up. I want to go to the gym and work out. I want to get the blood flowing to my head. I want to feel creative when I get there. I don't want to feel tired. I'm still excited. I still feel like a kid when I write something that I love. I still want to go home and listen to it over and over. I want to go to sleep and I want to get up in the morning and hear what I did and make sure it's not my imagination. I mean, there are a lot of duds. I've written a lot of horrible songs that no one will ever hear, but occasionally you still write a good one, and it's still exciting for me.
Good. So what is the best advice you've ever gotten?
Oh boy, that's like saying, what's your favorite Beatles song? And you can't pick a one. I think we think too much and we overthink. And sometimes I can go to a session too prepared, sort of like what we were just talking about. I think feeling is better than calculating what you want to write. Feeling is much better for how a song is going to come out than thinking about what rhymes and what makes total sense. I think we hold on too tight and we've got to loosen up.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who told me that. Maybe it's something I read or a lot of things I read, but I feel like I received that idea somewhere or a few places. And whenever I'm stuck, that's really worked for me. Leave it alone, go for a walk, let it find you, and then come back.
Let it find you.
Yeah.
Nice. What is a good songwriting tip that you can give to all the budding songwriters out there?
Know your strengths and know your weaknesses, and we all have some. And try to get in the room with somebody whose strengths are your weaknesses and whose weaknesses are your strengths, so you have a whole pie. Mm-hmm. If you have like two alpha top liners who do exactly the same thing, you might not get a full song or all the ingredients that need to go in the song. I've been in the room before with other people who've written hits I wished I wrote. And that doesn't mean you're going to write a hit just because you're with somebody else that's written one. And sometimes that's because, well, we do the same thing. So I like to go into a room. If I know I'm trying to write for a singer with a huge range, I might try to get in the room with somebody who's a writer who can also sing and go to those places that I can't, because it's going to cover a lot more territory.
So if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, I'd want to fly.
I'm so there with you.
I'd so want to fly. I've been dreaming about flying since I was like 5 years old. And I did this thing well, I won't even get into what I did to make myself fly, but I still dream about flying. What does this have to do with songwriting? It doesn't matter. It's a beautiful feeling. Great songs have been written about flying. I just can't imagine how it would feel to hover over the world.
You could fly anywhere you wanted to go and write and go and do anything.
Oh, and write? Oh, you're not asking me, you're saying it.
No, I'm saying it's like you said, what does it have to do with music, with songwriting? I'm like, well, if you could fly anywhere.
Oh,
and go do music anywhere.
I just want to fly for inspiration. The thing is, you don't have to travel so much to do music anymore. You could get on Skype.
Oh, of course.
Having said that, you miss the journey. You miss the going there and thinking about it along the way at the airport, walking along the streets in London, wondering.
And you have this superpower, so you might as well use it.
I mean, I could just fly there and skip the flight. I want to fly.
No security. No security lines.
To fly.
Oh, it's my long wish too.
To fly.
Oh yeah, since a little kid, absolutely. So what would you do for a living if you weren't a songwriter?
Oh, geez. Well, I look at those ice skaters in the Olympics, and that looks like a lot of fun. That feels like flying. Here we are. I feel like that's the closest thing to flying. I just feel like that has nothing to do with writing. And you're asking me what I would do if I couldn't write. Mm-hmm. So that just feels like a very liberating way to navigate, is flying around the ice.
So what is your least favorite word to use in a song?
Desire. I think cliches are okay as long as you surround them with nutritious lines, but desire is a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Will not do that. I'll use fire if I must,
But no
but
desire.
no desire.
And especially not together. Fire and desire.
Oh, I thought you said together. I will use together. You have to, but I see what you mean. You mean using desire and fire together.
As a rhyme,
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't do that unless you're Bruce Springsteen. He's done
You
it.
can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you could write with any artist, and you've written with quite a few already, who would it be and why?
Well, I'd love to write with Sheryl Crow, who you know fondly. I'd love to hunker down with her if she'd have me. There's a new artist that I just heard the other day, Caitlin Crosby. Think she's got a great future. Love to combine my ideas with her. You know, I'm sort of rock-based. I love Gwen Stefani. I'd get in a room with Cyndi Lauper. I would.
I think she'd be a
I think
blast
that
to
would
in
be
a room
great. And Pink. Love to get together with Pink. I think she gets deep
with.
in.
Women.
Yeah,
Great
they're
women.
all
Yeah,
women.
great women. Yeah.
Why is that? I dig the guys,
Yeah.
but I dig chicks. I like the
I
chicks.
like the chicks more.
I didn't say more.
Okay. So how do you stay musically current?
Well, that's something I have to work at a little bit because I love listening to past hits and I love listening to classical. So when I'm in my car, I have to say, you need to listen to mainstream. You have to pay attention. If you design clothes, you have to look at what's out there. But I think it's important to make sure that you're not following exactly what's out there because your songs are just going to sound like a clone of the last one. You really have to listen to what's out there, put it on the back burner, and write what you feel, and then try to combine the two to stay true and to feel like you're writing songs that mean something to you.
So before we go, I have one last question I'd like to ask you. Before I asked you if there was a piece of advice that you had been given, I'd like to know if there's a piece of advice that you would like to give to the songwriters out there who are aspiring to be in this seat one day.
It's very hard, very competitive, and very challenging. If you have any doubt in your mind, don't do it. Do something else. But if you wake up every day and feel like it's not a choice, this is what I have to be, then that is what you are. You have to wake up every day and live the life. You can't think about, is someone publishing my song? Am I being paid for this? You have to do it. Call yourself what you are. You are a songwriter. And then be patient.
That was beautiful. Thank you
That's how I
so
feel.
much. I
Thank
so
you, Judy
appreciate you
Stakey.
doing this. Thank you, Shelley Peiken.